and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Oh yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Just remember, today is the day that Al Capone was convicted because the government hates competition. Good to see you. How you doing, Tammy Bogard? Tammy. I hope you're doing wonderful this morning. Debbie, Cynthia, Nancy, Elka. Oh my. Look at all the lovely ladies in here. Funston. I don't think you're a lady, but you can be if you want to. Good to see you. Oh, Fly on the Wall. Good morning. Yawn. Good morning. Yes. Today. Oh boy. Just be expecting some weird things will probably happen today. They usually do, because we've made it over the hump. We've made it over the hump, and now we are back on track for this weekend. And oh boy, do we have a lot for you this morning. Of course, today we're going to be talking a little bit about the probably be showing quite a bit of it also, the Fox News interview with the camel toes. Oh boy. What first we'll see what else we have going on, because we've got a couple of other things here in the middle of all this. Oh yeah. And as we get there, Amazon, Google make dueling nuclear investments to power data centers with clean energy. Well, they're all of a sudden calling nuclear clean energy. Isn't that amazing? Amazon on Wednesday said it was investing in small nuclear reactors, coming just 2 days after a similar announcement by Google, as both tech giants seek new sources of carbon-free electricity to meet surging demand from data centers and AI. The plans come as the owner of the shuttered 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant said last month it plans to restart that reactor, so tech giant Microsoft can buy the power to supply its data centers. Really? That's amazing. Oh, why would Microsoft need to do that? All three companies have been investing in solar and wind technologies. Well, they sort of make electricity and, strip the earth of like natural resources, but hey, it will make electricity without producing greenhouse gas emissions. So now they say they need to go further in the search of clean energy because it just doesn't do it. because the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. So those downtimes, when people are most likely to be, working on their computers, they really can't afford it. Good to see you, Wishful. Good to see you, Wishful. It is wonderful, wonderful. Good morning, Mary. Oh boy, yeah. I'm gonna let some of you guys get in here. Once we hit a certain point, we will start kicking off the interview. Ah, yes. Well, nuclear energy is a climate solution in that reactors don't emit planet-warming greenhouse gases. No, just like body-warming gases. But hey, it is actually clean. The amount that it uses is pretty good. Fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas. The demand for power is surging globally as buildings and vehicles electrify. That our power grid can't handle it, as California has already shown. Last year, it placed a strain on electric grids, mainly in California and those other places that don't quite know how to harness power. Much demand also comes from data centers and artificial intelligence. Oh, well, that's a data center. I mean, that's all AI is just a bunch of data, ones and zeros. The International Energy forecasts that data centers' total electricity consumption could reach more than 1,000 terawatt hours in 2026, more than doubling from 2022. Estimates suggest 1 terawatt hour can power 70,000 homes for a year. And think about this. If you took all the nuclear power that you would use from the time that you were born until the time that you die, you could store it in a briefcase under your desk. That's how much power just one human will use from nuclear. AI is driving a significant increase in the amount of data centers and power that are required on the grid. We view advanced nuclear capacity as really key and essential. Oh, so we're special now. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said she's thrilled Amazon is the latest to BYOP, or bring your own power, to the build-out of data centers. Granholm spoke at an event on Wednesday and announced that Amazon's second headquarters in Virginia's governor, and 2 U.S. senators also attended this. The United States aims to reach 100% clean energy by 2035. And just sort of like but at that time, the ocean levels have already risen, and Virginia will be underwater, according to, client scientologists, whatever you want to call them. Small modular nuclear reactors are a type of nuclear reactor. Oh, they're going to ramp up that damn company again. Its stock is going to go through the roof. I'm telling you. Let me see where it's at, because I remember hearing about this particular stock. What was it? And I wonder who's investing in it. Let's see if I can find what the name of that particular thing was, because I remember there was a company that was formed up, and I would almost bet that their stock tanked really far. What was the name of it? Man, oh man, it'll come to me eventually. It was what is it? Nuclear NEU. What is it? I'm gonna look that thing. That's not right. I'm spelling it wrong. That is the one. Nano nuclear. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep, its stock is up year to date. At its highest point, it was, there is a company, and it started out in 2024, listed on May 8th, 2024. It surged in price up to 29. It tanked out in September to about $7, and it's up to $21 at its peak in October 16th. After it tanked out, it looks like it's dropping again. And that it was nano nuclear. So they've got these small, like, portable nuclear reactors or something like that. They had partial meltdown in 3 Mile Island in '79. Yep, that's correct. That would be correct. But of course, technology's increased since then. If new clean power isn't added as data centers are developed, the U.S. runs risk of browning out the grid. Oh, you don't want to brown out your grid at all. The reactors are currently under development with none currently providing power to the electric grid, and the U.S. big investors can help change that. And these announcements could be an inflection point that makes scaling up this technology truly possible, which means that that stock is about to tank. Because what'll happen is people all of a sudden start buying it up. That price, the value of it is going to increase, and then they will dump it like a hot potato because somebody will come out from some administration in some state and they will call it unsafe and it's killing our children and destroying the planet. And they're doing this. Why? Well, it's all about the money. Fukushima's still leaking into the ocean. And then you also have Chernobyl and all of those kinds of things. Amazon said it would match all of its global electricity consumption with 100% by 2030. So you've got a long time to go before they will do that. And most of us will probably not care at that point anymore because we'll have flying cars. And, people will have figured out this technology so much better. Those electric cars that you're spending 60 or 70,000. Well, but hey, what happens whenever you can't afford to eat? Well, it won't really matter. It really won't matter. Oh boy. Yeah, nuclear. Love it. Love it. This is ridiculous. And of course, they're going to start ramping these things up over here again. Because last night, the interview that Camel Toe gave was horrendous. It was so bad. But now they have to talk about this because remember, if Harris wins, this guy right here is going to be going right back onto the front lines. His country trained him to fight, then it turned against him. More like him are doing the same. U.S. military trained him in explosives and battlefield tactics. Now this veteran is enlisted National Guard member was calling for taking up arms against police and government officials in his own country. How many times have we heard about these? These right here. The coming civil war. U.S. is falling into chaos. There would be only one way to survive, to delete or be deleted. Arthur was posting during a surge of far-right extremism in the years leading up to the new president. He wrote Warcraft training manuals to help others organize their militias and taught how to kidnap and attack public officials. Wasn't there? I am pretty sure that Radix Virum is doing a documentary on this. Do you remember the Governor Whitmer, the kidnapped governor, supposed that was mainly feds? But we're not allowed to talk about that. Good morning, Mayor Dan. Wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see you. Glad you could make it in. We're gonna get crazy today. We're just warming up, making sure we get some people in here because they're not going to want to miss today. We may end up having to kick this thing over on Rumble if YouTube gets all butthurt. At the same time, while the pace was overall population has been radicalized. Just think, folks, you've been radicalized. Yeah, Whitmer blows chunks. Well, the number of people involved remains small. Well, if you take out the FBI and the CIA, yeah, then that amount of people actually becomes really small. Good to see you, Nanny Goat. She's the Dorito. Yeah, that's her. Whitmer, the one where she's getting women to get on their hands and knees to take the Eucharist of a Dorito. And yeah, that's pretty crappy. And me, I'm not Catholic. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And to me, I find that offensive to doing that to people. You know, that just shows your level of how much you care about your constituents. In the shadow of this horrible attack on the Capitol, it led in part by veterans. You mean it wasn't Americans that did this? As early as 2017, festering problem. See, most of this stuff I can't talk about because YouTube doesn't like it whenever you talk about these things. But of course, this right here is their graphs, of course, because why not throw a graph in there? It makes it seem like they've done some sort of research on this. I'm very surprised by the existence of the report. Yeah, I guess it's very violent, very ugly. Yes. And of course, this is ultimate authority in the U.S. Guard against the tyrannical government. Well, that's like I said, they hate the competition. Oh, there's Ben Powell, who drives a truck as a civilian DoD contractor. He felt a professional responsibility to report Chris Arthur after watching his videos during an interview in Salt Lake City. He called North Carolina National Guard previously with his concerns and not seen any action. Yeah, that guy looks familiar. I think I've seen him do some YouTube stuff before. The same month, the man came by for extended stay at Arthur's farm. Yeah, the fatal funnel. Late Sweeter Blessed raced his tractor down a rural highway between Buffalo and firing a pistol out his. I don't even want to talk about this because this is the United States response. This is what AP is going to report about this horrible stuff. So basically, what they're saying is if you are even slightly on the right, and I want to minimize this here for a second. If you believe in freedom of all people in this country, if you believe that you should have the right to carry arms, bear arms, then this is the part where we find out Trump was right about the FBI crime statistics. Yeah. If you believe in true freedom of the American people and to have the ability to protect themselves from a tyrannical government, they view this as a far right extreme propaganda. Let's put it that way. It doesn't mean that you should be afraid of your government. It just means that you should be. The government shouldn't be controlling you. You should be in control of your government, because as it says, for the people and by the people, your time is running short as an American. If you believe that government is the answer to your problems, your time is running short, because the government doesn't care about you. Your neighbor cares about you. I care about you, but your government doesn't. Government is a non-entity, and the only thing that government cares about is making government bigger. That's what it's been designed to do. That's not what we designed it to do. It doesn't work for us anymore. But here we go. We'll get into this before I get a little PO'd. Here we go. All right. Harris' interview with Fox is marked by testy exchanges over immigration and more. We'll get into the interview. Vice President Camel Toe Harris engaged in a combative interview with Fox News on Wednesday, sparring with anchor Brett Baer. I'm going to say Baer. I'm not sure if that's correct. I don't watch Fox News, so I'm probably saying it wrong. On immigration and shifty policy positions, while asserting that if elected, she would not represent a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. But we already know that she will be. So and I'm gonna jump between this interview and what they have to say about it. Let's see if they've got any talking points here. No, it's a very short story. But she also had plenty to say about herself. Well, Byard kept talking as Harris tried to respond to his challenges on immigration. Harris said, "May I please finish? You have to let me finish, please." Well, what did he have to say about this? What exactly? Because I'm pretty sure he had a response to what was being said. So you guys will be able to have a chance to look out for yourself.
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, you know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop. So, Martha, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things, and she maybe should do more of these.
Wow. So there were people that were trying to get him to get off the air, make it stop, make the bleeding stop, make it stop. So let's get into it. And see what actually happened there. Here we go.
Time.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Brett.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
What? I mean, this is a softball question. It was obvious they tried to cut it off. Oh yeah. So what would you say, chat? What would you say? How many illegal immigrants have been released into the country? Just a ballpark since her administration started. How many would you say have been? How many people would you say have been released into our country? Well, why don't we hear what she said about this back whenever she was not a vice president? This is what she had to say.
It is wrong to somehow suggest that an undocumented immigrant is a criminal. Being an undocumented immigrant is not a crime.
I know what a crime looks like.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
That's what she had to say. What will she say now? What will she say now? Oh, well, let's find out what she has to say.
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have, and you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you
now,
just a
which
number?
is-
Do you
but-
think it's
but-
1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's.
Yeah, see, why don't you answer the question, Kimmel? I mean, this is what you guys expect us to do. Wait. No, you know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how horrible Trump has done. You've been in charge over the past 4 years. You were in charge of handling the crisis, the issues, the problems that were happening at the border. This is a serious question. Why can't you answer it, Madam Vice President?
Let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So you're
Okay. So instead of, and this is not one of those where you know, an interview you give a little bit, you take a little bit. But she's going to fight it. She's going to fight it. You keep hearing Maracas say in an answer to Congress, the plan is working. Does she even know? No, she doesn't know. She doesn't know how many illegals are in the country. Does she even answer a question straight out? No, she will beat around the bush. This is not testy. This is an interviewer asking her a question, and her not wanting to answer the question. She wants to answer it with a question or her own answer. It's a common tactic. J.D. Vance does it. Trump does it. It's not uncommon, but she will never answer this question.
Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
It's a
an
rough estimate
immigration
of
system.
6.
See, she's I'm not finished. No, because you're not answering the question. And he's smart for hitting her like this. It's just like, we can give you an estimate right here. It said 85% of those done is, here we go.
We have
It's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of
Good morning.
6 million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get you the question, I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And
You were beginning to answer. No, you were beginning to spew your own narrative. Let him finish his question. You should know this, Madam Vice President.
when you came into office, your administration immediately
Yeah, because you notice she started blinking her eyes. That's that. Gets the head back, gets the eyes fluttering. Yeah, they don't like it whenever you stop their rhetoric.
reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So, looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking.
Oh boy, here he comes. Snarky fake smile. Yeah, she already came in with a bad attitude. I mean, that's the thing about it. You know, it's no different than whenever Trump had to sit down with the what was it, the Black Journalists of America or something like that, where they made him wait for hours before he sat down. He was there under the false pretense that they were there to he was going to have a little bit of a back and forth with, I believe it was Kamala at the time, because this was pretty early on whenever Biden conceded defeat, that he knew he was going to win the election, and handed over the reins to Camel Toe. And now here she is in the middle of this, and she can't answer this damn question, because now she's going to tell you exactly what she had for breakfast, but she's never going to answer this question.
Taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah. Now notice we. So she's taking credit for everything and the situation that the American people are in right now, with inflation off the rails, with the cost of living off the rails, with not being able to afford to put food on your table off the rails, unemployment, no rails. I mean, this is the Biden-Harris administration. Another 4 years, and this is exactly the answer that you're going to get from her again. Because, see, if she wins this 4 years, that means she's going to run the next 4 years. Yeah.
Before the CHIPS and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am.
He's already given you the facts. See, this is a nice long delay tactic. Oh, all the wonderful things that we did. This is the first thing that we did was fix the immigration system by unleashing all of the people that were being held, by all of the people that were being held and not allowed into this country, that were being detained, that should have been sent back to whence they came. But no. They opened up the floodgates almost immediately.
Ma'am, it was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. It was essentially a pathway to citizenship.
Let him finish. Let him finish. You've already talked over him multiple times, and she spent the whole interview trying to run out the clock. Exactly, and he's trying to keep it focused. He's trying to keep it focused, and that's all she's doing is wait. Let me finish. Sweetheart, this isn't where you do a speech. You know, I know you want to get your points out. I think she's salty because Trump said, I'm not doing another debate with her because she's absolutely horrendous. And I've already given her the opportunity. And so these are the things that she would want to debate.
Please finish.
Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please? But you have to let me finish.
No, he doesn't have to do jack squat. You're there to answer questions. That's how an interview works, sweetheart. You answer the question. He gave you the facts. You answer the question. Same way that Trump does.
And the White House and the House and the Senate,
and they didn't bring up that bill. Responding to the.
Oh God, woman! I'm in the middle of responding. No, you're just repeating whatever is being fed to you instead of answering the question. You've beat around the bush.
The point you're raising, okay. And I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources.
Name one thing that you did. Name one thing that you did besides releasing illegals into our country. Name one thing. Just one thing that you've done besides releasing illegals into our country. Name it. She's not going to name a damn thing. We've done a number of things to address this, and we did these other things to address this, and we did these things to address it, but you never actually addressed the problem in the first place. You didn't stem the flow of illegals coming into the country.
Getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for you.
No, you looked into it. We're going to look into doing this. We're going to look into doing that. What actual implementation of these policies did you make? What moves did you make? Zero.
Legal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's
right. Like stopping building of the walls there. Let them rot. Oh, okay. That's what you did. That was it. Oh, you added more Border Patrol agents at processing centers to process people through much quicker because you were overwhelmed with the amount of people that were coming into the country. Because while Biden was standing on stage with Donald Trump, he told the illegals, come on in. Well, we've got open doors. Open door policy. Hold $1 billion of, what was that? Hold $1 billion of money to Trump. Yeah. Right. My copay is more than any raise they can grace us with. Exactly. They reversed Trump policy on immigration on January 26, 2021. Yes.
The work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to act.
Okay, so and I don't even have to listen to this part of it to know exactly what she's going to say. We had this bipartisan effort on both parts of the conservatives were down for this, and then Donald Trump stopped the border bill. Wait, no. Let's back up the truth trolley here, sweetheart. Let's back it up way back about 3 years ago. All right, about 3 years ago, What did you do? What policies did you enact? Because at any point in time, the president of the United States could have said, we are shutting down our borders. Nobody else is coming in. Anybody that's here, we're sending you back. At any point in time, he could have done that. That is within the president's power. Did he do that? No, he did not. And the only time that he did it was when they found out how bad they were going to be beat in this election over immigration issues, because it's gone absolutely hog wild. Absolutely hog wild. And it is now to the point where they shut everything down, 6 months before Harris even got in this position. What was it, 6 months ago? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was. That border bill. Yeah, well, we hadn't even gotten to the border bill yet. We're just talking about what they did in the process of this. The border bill was just like icing on the cake for them, because they were more concerned with sending weapons to Ukraine, funnel money through Ukraine. They were more concerned with Israel. They were not as much of a concern than they were with the border. And exactly like Nanny Goat said, that bill was filled with so much bullshit that it never had a chance of doing it. It didn't address anything at the border. Its impact would have been minimal.
Actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is...
When was that? That was just last year. Just at the very beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Was it something like April, May, something like that? And now, and then they want to blame Trump for it. Oh my God. It's still not been here. Oh, I forgot about Rumble. I have typing privilege here. I'm in both chats now. Awesome. Good to see you. Ah, yes. Good morning. Almost half of them watching haven't hit the like buttons. Show Shizzy some thumbs up for the freckled ginger. It just makes that red hair glow. Hey, Brandon. Yeah, this interview was hilarious. I kept saying, oh my God, Brett Baer must have touched the wrong kid on the wrong plane or island. He has a script in his hand. God, jeez. Just got here. Probably missed a lot. No, you haven't really missed a whole lot. Trust me, it's just getting fired up.
Which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl.
She's about to get hammered on this. No, it wasn't going to do jack squat. That was that border bill that they're touting out would have done nothing. Normally he was apologizing. He was apologizing and walking it back immediately after they stopped pointing the gun at the back. Yeah. Called Arizona for Harris right after. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But see, he has to come across as not being that way. I would have loved to see her sit down with Tucker and do an interview with Tucker. She would have gotten more reach doing an interview with Tucker than she would have with Fox. Just saying.
Coming into the United States, which is a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country.
Because of policies that you made. Because of policies that you made. It's a scourge because of policies that you made. Because you opened up the border for business.
Killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the attorney.
You haven't done jack squat as an attorney general. So what was the case? What was that case? Name one. Name one, Madam Vice President. Give us the case number. Give us the case number of transnational. They really love those transnational, entities. Name one. Name one. That's all you got to do. Name one. Which one did you stop as Attorney General? How many cases? How many cases did? Oh wait, no, you went after a guy with like a few grams of weed, and then you locked him up as long as you possibly could because you need people to fight the forest fires in California. So why don't we talk about these transnational gangs that you stopped? How many of those? Oh, crickets. What about these billions that you got off of big corporations? What were the case numbers? I mean, it's easy to check those out. The left keeps. Why does she do this? They weigh the odds, and she hates her enough to do an actual interview. Yeah. The left keeps bringing up the border bill, but the left had total control of Congress for the first 2 years. Yes, they did. And the Republicans aren't much better at this. The Republicans had control during the first part of Trump's presidency, and they could have done a lot of stuff. But you got a bunch of little weenies there that won't do what they were sent there to do. Did she go full Biden yet? No. Freeze and we'll say say stuff or things right? Yeah, not yet. She's about to. You were fixing to say that same thing.
Former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
6 Democrats voted.
You were just no, this is about you, sweetheart. Why does she keep bringing up all of the things that Donald Trump has done as a president? Why hasn't she brought up the things that they've done as in their presidency? You know she doesn't bring Pence in on this because it would have been Trump Pence. What did Trump and Pence do? Bring it. Well, okay. So what he wants to do? Jesus, woman, you are just bad at this. This is why she doesn't give interviews.
Against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it.
We already know that this is a lie. That border bill would have done nothing, and Trump had nothing to do with it. Trump had nothing to do with your border bill. If you think he has that much power in Congress, then why? If you have that little power, if you're saying that Trump has that much power, then I'm telling you right now, he should be president. If he has that much power that he can sway Congress, that he can sway the Senate, that he can sway legislatures to vote a certain way, then heaven help us. Because that means he is one of the most powerful men on the planet, because he isn't even an elected official. You are an elected official and you couldn't sway your constituents to see it your way? Amazing. So it's Trump's fault.
Because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue.
What do you think that they did for the first 4 years? What do you think they've been doing for the past 8 years? You've been playing a game. You've been playing political stunts. It was all Russia, Ukraine, Russia. Let's see. You've gone after them in how many states? You've stopped them looking into election issues, which we had the most free, fair election last election, and look forward to the next one being just the same. These interviews are like a crash and burn tour. Yeah, it's so beautiful. She's right. The American people are tired of the games. Exactly. That's all they've been doing, is playing games for the past 4 years. 4 years before that, they were playing games. 4 years before that, they were playing games. 4 years before that, they were playing games. Obama came in because he was going to do so much for the black man. What was the outcome of that? Black Lives Matter. Amazing how that worked out. A housing market crash. All of the crap that we went through, Obamacare. I'm pretty sure that that helped us out a great deal as a country.
I hear you.
But actually is focused on fixing
Six
it.
Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the 6 Democrats.
6 Democrats voted against it. Sanders, Booker, Markey, I don't know who that is, Padilla, and Senma, Arizona. Yeah, they voted against it. Democrats, independents, they voted against it.
But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungiri, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed.
Ouch.
So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those
I think it's
families...
really-
Now, why are you talking? You didn't like it whenever he talked over you, so why are you talking over him? Obama is the one that started the open border. Absolute, Brandon. It's actually the poor foreign trade and domestic economic policies that force consumers to go on a debt-fueled spending spree. There you go. There you go. Your mom, who is in her 70s, has the TV on MSNBC and 24/7. Yeah, the Trump derangement syndrome is real. The boomer brainwashing is total. It's sad. The shitting housing policies just exasperated by providing a horrible place for that money to go. Yes. Yes. I mean, I knew somebody that was a banker at that point in time that was in charge of handing out those loans, and the bank that he was working for at the time, I think he still may be there, the policy handed down from the government was that this was part of diversity, equity, and inclusion policies that were put in place to help the disenfranchised is why, and it was pushed a lot by Congress, both Republican and Democrats were going to come after these banks if they didn't make the loans. If they refused to make the loans, their social scores would be tanked, and they would not get support of the government. That was the policies that were being put forward. He didn't like it at all, but his hands were tied in it because he had higher ups that basically he would have lost his job and somebody else would have done it. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all of them.
I think
An apology.
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases.
But you can't put their name, you can't speak of their names because under your policies, this is what happened to them.
There's no question about that. There's no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred.
But it was under your policies that they did. Madam Vice President, under your policies, this is what happened. While you were off in Brazil, getting mocked horrendously, while you were off in, El Salvador, Venezuela, while you were off, like, in any place but on the border, your policies caused this. Their lives doesn't mean it would have been stopped, but damn, you don't know.
So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago.
Not true. Not true. They would have just been processed in faster. 9 months ago is what she's saying. 9 months ago is whenever this border policy came in. That would not have stopped these people from already being here because you opened the border at the very beginning of it. Vacation. Welcome, Alita. One of the Morgan Stanley board members was on your company's board, and he was like, we have sliced and diced these shitty loans so many ways we don't even know what we own. There's no underlying paper. Yeah. It's bad.
It would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more.
No, that is not true. You would have had more border agents processing people through faster. That's all that you were doing. That's what your call was for. Your call was process people through much faster. Read the bill. That's exactly what it was, to open up the border even further and allow more processing to come through. Her and Biden both. Alita. Her and Biden both. Your grandpa died at the end of September 2020. He collapsed on the floor. EMT showed up and asked him who the president was. He said, Trump, and if he doesn't get reelected, we're screwed. Yeah. The CRA was a disaster. Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Support for the folks who are working around the clock, trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure.
Madam Vice President, you're telling things that are not true. You're wanting to blame Trump on your bad policies. Your bad policies are not Trump's fault.
That no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election. Because
what? That is one of the greatest ads for Trump right there, because he already said he's going to fix the problem. Even if it isn't a political advantage, he's going to take care of this problem. But they've already said he shouldn't. He can't sleep. Good morning, Gutters Pub. Good morning. Imagine reliving this nightmare again. Oh, it's coming. If she's elected, you remember the housing market crash that we had? Oh, it's about to get worse. Yeah, because it's not equitable that you live in a nice home, because it's not inclusive that you spent, a good portion of your adult life saving and scrimping and paying off that mortgage. It's not inclusive that there's still poor people there. Yeah. Look at the cost of buying new homes versus under Trump. It's 2 to 4C. Yeah. Times. Yeah, I got you. 2 to 4 times different. We're screwed if they're elected. Yeah. Equity my ass, but that's what it is. We have no idea how much worse these policies can get. No, you don't. You really don't.
there was a solution, Brett.
Madam.
No, she keeps going back to this border bill that they wanted to pass that was funding Ukraine. That's all she's talking about. And it wasn't until everyone said, you know what? The economy is tanking. Inflation is on the rise. We are definitely not losing this. We are definitely not winning this next election because our policies have completely failed. Well, she wants the taxpayer to tax the equity of your home. Oh yeah, that right there is another beautiful policy that they've been trying to push through. That's one of Nancy Pelosi's things to so you get taxed on unrealized gain. Well, they won't talk about that because that would require, more brains than I have to talk about that, to say anything about unrealized capital gains that Nancy Pelosi has been pushing and pushing and pushing, which means that, just because you own this, say your house is valued at, $100,000 and you paid $20,000 for it, they consider that 25,000. They consider that 75,000 unrealized capital gains, and they'll tax you on it. Because if you did sell your house, then you would still be taxed on it. But they want to do a pre-tax on you. Garbage people.
Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe...
Does she feel any sadness for this? Oh, I'm really sad that happened to her, but it was not my policies. But it was your policies. Hammer on it again there, Brett.
them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss.
No, you're sorry for her loss, but you're not sorry for the policies that you made. Sorry for her loss, but not sorry for the policies that you made, because we did everything that we could. No, garbage.
I'm so sorry for her loss. Sincerely.
How many times do you have to say it before people are just like, we don't believe your sincerity?
But let's talk about...
Everything before the but, she just got rid of. What was that? Let's hear it again, because here's where she's going to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry for her loss. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. It's so horrible. I feel." But the but is her real answer. Just remember the first part of everything that she said before but, she just negated.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I'm so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with...
Oh, other words, sweetheart, I am not sorry for your loss, because we need to focus on what's happening right now. That's all she said to that young lady. That's all she had to say to her. Let's focus on what's happening right now. Other words, screw your daughter. Let's focus on what's happening right now. That's what she just told that young lady. Answer to your question, how do you feel about this lady? I don't give two shits about that lady. We need to focus on what's happening right now. That's exactly what she said.
An individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer?
That's every time she says but, just remember that's what she truly feels about you, American people. Everything after the word but, because I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of but. Let's look at it realistically. Let's look at it holistically.
In all fairness, I told you I feel awful for
Here it comes again. But
what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration, even before. Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist. They will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support.
There it is. Thank you. We need to process these cases. We need to get more people processed through. Sweetheart, it's as simple as this. There's a way that's been in place for decades of crossing the border legally. But yet, you have failed to do that. Your administration has failed to do that. You opened the borders for this problem. You created this problem. Process faster, process more, process quicker. Now she's mixing border policies. Yeah.
Or for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that that's going to get fixed.
That's going to get fixed. That doesn't stop the stem. It does not stop the flow. It does not put a tourniquet on the problems that we're having at the southern border. Good Lord, woman. Good Lord. A week after saying she couldn't think of any move made by Biden that she would have done differently, my presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. Harris did not offer any specifics. Like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences and my professional experiences and fresh new ideas. That's what she's going to be coming up next. Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Brett,
Well,
that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question.
But
There were
that's how the
90
system
plus
works.
executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those
Yes.
are Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think
'Cause she
they're
has been.
frustrated, and I get it. They
No, you
want
don't.
support. They want support, and that's what that border security
Here it
bill
comes.
would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to
Oh, yeah. What were those things that she talked about? Oh, it was this.
Undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. And
Yeah, that's what she was talking about. Oh, yeah, forgot about that, huh? Yeah, forgot all about that. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented. She sounds worse than me. Vocal fry voice. She sounds worse than me. Yeah. Yeah. If she becomes president, the only thing she knows is word salad. Right.
immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over.
Here comes the but.
Over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law. So do you support that?
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
So decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as.
Oh, she's not done that as vice president. No, she did nothing as vice president. Wow, not a criminal? Yeah. We don't want to take any medications because they didn't see nodules on the thigh. We're sorry to hear that. Her team also just off the interview at 20 minutes because Brett's handler's script was murdering her live on TV. Your wife would vote for her if we had automatic mail-in ballots again. Mm-hmm. So would my grandfather. He's My grandfather and grandmother would vote for her also. As a matter of fact, I have to keep an eye on that because there's a possibility they'll be voting again this year, although they passed in like the 90s. Just saying.
As president.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
No, but let's be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president who has prosecuted.
Name them. Name them. Name them. What was it?
Undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal, and we have to correct course in this conversation.
We're not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not a criminal. Not a criminal. I cannot believe that she is going to say this.
Transnational criminal organizations, from the Sinaloa cartel to the Guadalajara cartel to people who have trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career going after people who present a threat to the safety of the American people.
Name the cases. Name the cases, Camel Toe. You know, every single case that you prosecute, every single case that you've prosecuted, and we're not talking about your office. We're talking about you. Which ones have you taken care of? I mean, it's really easy. I could sit down and I could name the hundreds of thousands of cases that my wife has gone through. I can pull up all of her records. If I typed in my wife's name into Georgia databases, I can pull up every single case that she's prosecuted or that she's been involved, not prosecuted, but that she's been a party to. Every single one of them I could pull up. You can do the same, I think, in California too. You can pull up and see every single case that her name is attached to, and look at them and tell me how many of those cases did she prosecute, and what were the outcomes of them. Prosecuting doesn't always mean winning either. Your dad was hammered drunk when Trump won. Things he said about Hillary were amazing. He made your little sister cry and storm out of the house. I love it. Oh man. I love it. Yeah, it's a lie because California was pissed that she did not prosecute them. Yeah.
And cross our border with the intent of doing us harm, and
You've
cross
done
our
nothing.
border illegally. And I will do that work as vice president. I take that work quite seriously.
That's not true. You've not been one bit serious about it.
This is a time when voters, especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every commercial. But many of them add noise, but a few of them seem to break through. This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Oh, here comes the smug. Here comes the smug. I can feel it. What time was that race called? It was like 1 or 3 a.m. We made Heineken money by then. I imagine so. Oh, yes. Yes, it was on the taxpayer's dime. Yeah, all she could do was complain about how much money Trump paid for the ad. I bet she does. I haven't seen this yet. I haven't seen this at all. So this is all new to me. I was covering Sarah Boone last night. which I've uploaded the video, I think, this morning. Pay no attention to the really bad parts of the audio. It did turn out pretty damn good. I just let it run the way that it is. It's got a little bit of click in the background. Something about processing, it got all funky, but I'm not going to go back and fix it because I don't have the time.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law.
Other words, I don't want to talk about this. I'll follow the law. Oh man, all I see. Oh my God, this is so bad. I can't help it. Sometimes this happens to me, and I don't know why that I do these kinds of things. Just can't help it. I can't help it. It just comes to me like in the sorry.
Law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he
They made everyone crossing legal. She will be following the law. Exactly. We are so screwed. I disregard social norms regarding what you can eat at what time of day. That is true. I'm with you on that, Brandon. Your little brother was a victim of her parole denial policies in order to keep inmates at the fire camp facilities. It was demoralizing, caused so much delay towards getting him on track. Sorry to hear that, Keister. I've talked about that multiple times. I think that's absolute garbage what they did in California.
never advocated for that prison policy, and no gender transition
well,
surgeries
you know what, you got to take responsible for what happened
presidency.
in your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened.
Oh, really? Really? Miss Smug, well, you got to take responsibility for what happened in your administration. Okay. So why don't we start with you? Why don't we start with you, sweet cheeks? What happened during your administration? Let's see. They locked people in their homes. They mandated that they get vaccines. They mandated that they wear masks. Now, nothing that I say about this is absolutely true or medical advice. I'm just showing what exactly they told people that they were going to have to do. They weakened our border. They weakened our economic policy. They weakened our strength across the globe. They devalued the dollar. So should I go on? The increase in taxes that has been put on people. So what was that about taking responsibility for what happens during your administration? Yeah, the anger is seething in her. How did she pull that off? Have you ever been in jail? You're a captive and helpless, and this person is keeping people past the release dates? Oh, it happened. Oh, it happened. Yeah, there was a gentleman that was on death row. And it took the Supreme Court to come in and get the goddamn released. Because she wouldn't move on it. What was that? I just saw something here that was if they make everyone go, yeah, that was something that I saw. I don't remember. Was it this? The problem with small reactors increases the chance of nuclear accidents and terrorism events. They're only jumping on the Elon Musk and Donald Trump stupidity bandwagon. Possibly. Shameful. Yeah. Be right back. We'll see you in a few.
Happened in this presidency.
It's in
so
black and white.
Would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment
I will
surgeries?
follow the law, just as I think Donald Trump would say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think it's real. He spent $20 million on
Why is she talking about him? Why did she talk about what she would do? It's all about what Trump did. What Trump did wrong. Trump did this wrong. Trump is going to do this. Really? This is deflection because she can't handle what's coming at her. I mean, she might do better if she was on her knees, because then she can handle what's being put in her face, because she is getting a royal. I'm going to take a coffee break. Everybody, you've got about less than 5 minutes. Grab yourself some coffee, and we're going to continue on with this because we're about halfway through it. But I need some coffee because I don't want to throw up on an empty stomach. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Enjoy Rambo.
Sandy shores, get a tan. Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, oh man, Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to effing see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Whoa, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is, well, that is too dirty to say here. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is that is too dirty to say here, Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Otters in the surf, hummingbirds in the sky. Rambo honks the horn and spits in Shizzy's eye. Oh my! Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Oh, Rambo's rolling. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the wave. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the waves. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having a effing blast. So here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too. Well, here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Nice. Good morning, Captain Karen. How you doing? Good to see you. Still not bad here. All you other fine folks that are coming in. Al Seep, it's wonderful to have you here this morning. Make sure you hit that like. If you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button, because it makes the YouTube algorithm just get really angry at what I'm about to show you.
In those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters because he actually has no plan.
What? No plan? No, he does have a plan. It's all about leaving it up to the states, whether he agrees with it or not. he still has to go by those policies just like you do. But the only problem is the policies that you've made opens up our borders. It allows people to do horrible things to other people and doesn't stop what you're thinking that it does. Because right now, did you miss anything? Shit, did I miss any good salad? No, not her.
In this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people, whereas at $20 million on that ad, on an issue that, as it relates to the biggest...
Well, he might have spent $20 million on the ad, but you spent more than that just flying people into your well, you can't really call them rallies because concerts. Yeah, there you go. You spent more than that flying people into your concerts just to show that you have somebody showing up to watch you speak. You've had paid actors. Paid actors like, what was it? The white cucks for Kamala or something like that. I think that's what it was. So they were paid actors to do this organic thing. Yeah. I thought that was a Babylon Bee thing. Good morning, Stephen. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Good to see you. Good to see you. You're welcome to hang out. Twerk fests. Yep. That is exactly what she was doing. I love it. I love watching them flounder. Yet our citizens are homeless. Well, it gets worse.
Biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again...
Oh, she's saying that transvestites and those who want to chop parts off of their bodies it's quite remote. Did I hear that right? That she feels that these people are there's not that many of them. There's really not that many of them. It's quite remote. Is that what she said? Now you understand that the big push for them, and I'm sure they'll get to this, is the Black Guys for Harris. Yeah. Asked to clarify her assertion that she wants to turn the page, though Democrats currently hold the White House, and Harris said she's running on turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kinds of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump. On immigration, Harris expressed regrets over the deaths of women, but she did not express concern. She said it 3 times. I'm so sorry that had to happen. I'm so sorry that had to happen. I'm so sorry that had to happen. But it's because of Donald Trump killing a border bill. She criticized Trump for his role in blocking a bipartisan immigration bill this year that would have boosted the border funding. Unburdened by what she's done. You haven't even had a full cup of Joe Shizzy, and you got to throw this pre-Halloween horror show in your face. That's right. Suck it. Because what she says here, I'm so sorry for her loss sincerely. You know, like I said, she said it 3 times, but her response was negated by but. This was Donald Trump's fault. That was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law, she said. She gave the same answer about proposals to allow those illegals to get driver's licenses. Of Trump, she said, well, of course, this is all about Trump. People are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader and who spends a full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievances. You caused those grievances. You've had 4 years of screwing this country over. You've screwed this country over for the past 3 years. and then all of a sudden want to backpedal whenever it doesn't suit you politically. You blame Trump for all of the problems that you've run into. Trump hasn't been president for 4 years. Trump hasn't been president for 4 years, yet you're wanting to say it's all his fault. All of the problems are his fault. You went after him over Russia. You've armed our justice system to go after him, and you're losing miserably there also, because the law is on Trump's side on 90% of the crap that's going on, and the rest of it hasn't been decided yet. Amazing how that works. It's been your problem that we've had.
On that act, on an issue that, as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again, his policy was.
You heard what I said earlier. The trans issue only becomes good and non-remote whenever she's sitting in front of the alphabet gays. That's the only time that it becomes not remote. It becomes one of the biggest issues because they're not getting the same rights as everybody else. For transgender care, they're not getting the same rights as everyone else. Mm-hmm. Let me ask a serious question here. How many people think that men have more rights than women? In this country, who thinks that women have less rights than men? Tell me. Do blacks have less rights than whites? How about Asians? Do the gays have less right than the heteros? It's an interesting thought. I would say that no. Americans have the same rights across the board.
No different. Look at where we are, though.
They say
on plans for the American people, I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan.
You've had 4 years to do it. You're offering a plan? You've had 4 years and you've done nothing. So now you have a plan. Okay.
Plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are the backbone of America's economy.
Small businesses. Now, why don't you finish the sentence? Small businesses for whom? Small businesses for whom? Who are you looking to help out with small businesses? Who is that? You mean small businesses like Amazon and Microsoft? Small businesses like them? Maybe small businesses like Walmart? What about all the small businesses that got shut down during the pandemic under your administration? What about those businesses that were not able to recover? What about the small businesses during the George Floyd riots that you supported, that you bailed people out of, that burned down those small businesses? Where was your support then? Where was your support? Did you help those small businesses back whenever you first got in? No, the first thing that you did is undo every policy that Trump had put into place. So is the small businesses just to help out a certain population, a certain ethnic population, a certain color? And why would that be? Because you want them to vote for you now. Farmers.
I am offering a plan that is about taking care of young parents and giving them the support they need.
No, you're not. You don't respect young parents. You don't respect children because you want to put them through a meat grinder. You back and support deleting children in the womb. That's what you back and support. You think that that's birth control. You don't back anybody. You support people on your back, but that's about it.
My plans for the economy will strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates.
Oh, did we show those 16 Nobel laureates? Yeah, all of those are Democrat shills. We pulled all that information up yesterday. If you don't believe me, go back and look what those people support. Every single one of those are involved in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Every single one of them. Oh, I did name them yesterday. I named them yesterday. And was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, just go back and watch yesterday or the day before. Yeah, I covered it and covered the whole thing. I pulled up every single thing about those people and the companies that they were involved in. Their main focus is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Every single program that these Nobel laureates support are about, okay, wasn't here for it? Oh, you should have been. Yeah, you should have been, because I went into it in detail. Every single one of these people that she's talking about. Yes, I've seen the paper. I pulled that whole paper up. It's ridiculous. And we all know trans immigrants get away with most of all of them get the best deals. Yeah. Yeah, you should. Yeah. Well, that's the problem. It's not her job to name them. It's your job to research and figure this out. Yeah, I did name them. Named every single one of them. And they're all supporters of the left, like hardcore supporters. Each one of these Nobel economists supporting her are part of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Each one of their white papers talks about how the economy needs to be equitable, inclusive, and it needs to be diverse. That is what their plan is. That's why they disagree with Donald Trump, because it's not diverse, it's not equitable, and it's not inclusive. That's the people that don't like Trump.
Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal, which have all studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy, his would make them weaker.
Why do you think?
Do you know what each one of those that she quoted said that? Each one of those that she's talking about were hit pieces that were written by people trying to take a hit out on Trump. And I pulled this crap up yesterday or the day before about who these companies are. They're quoting these same laureates as saying that Trump's stuff wasn't going to work. That's all it was. Max saw the Brett Baier interview. Yes, Kamala got destroyed. However, guessing most Democrats refuse to watch Fox, so article linked in Drudge that extols Kamala's wins works for the Democrat bubble. Yes, it does. Works up there with Lynette and Bubbles. Yeah, DEI. Yes, every single one of them. Every single one of these laureates that she's touting are part of the diversity, equity, inclusion. Everything that the Wall Street Journal, AP, every single one of them that pulled this up, every single one of them that talked about it quoted the same damn paper that I pulled up that the AP was showing. Every damned one of them.
Inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year.
Sweetheart, we're in the middle of high inflation. We're in the middle of we're in the middle of a total shit show. And you're saying, well, it's going to get worse if he becomes president. F that shiz. I agree. Factually incorrect. Knowingly lying. Our economy was very strong under Trump, except for the last part of Trump's administration due to a global pandemic.
Those are the facts.
Why do you think more people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you?
I think that when you look at an analysis of our plans for what we would do as president of the United States, it has been clear to those who study and understand.
Really? Really. I'm going to have to do it. I just can't handle the absolute bullshit on this. It amazes me, the stupidity that she thinks we believe. Let me see if I can find this thing. It's going to take me a minute because I cannot abide by her bullshit. Not abide by her bullshit. Let's see. And let's see. That would have been here. And that was and I think it was this one here. Open that one in a new tab. I think that might have been it, but if it wasn't, it would have been the day before. And let me see if I can find this thing, because that right there is absolute garbage, what she is spewing out there. Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. Maybe it was Tuesday. Let's see. What? Don't know. And that's so wild that Trump created some crypto token. What a sucker. Why would anybody buy that garbage? Nope. Edgar County's watch. I just have to pull this up because it's amazing to me that whenever I see this kind of garbage, that I'm sitting there shaking my head going, why do they keep repeating these same lies? It is amazing to me that they've not been able to stop this crap that's being sent out. And I think it was this right here. Nope, that is not it. Don't want to pull that up. And sorry that I had to pause that. It's just whenever I hear this kind of garbage, it really pisses me off that nobody does the research on it and seeing these people. Oh God, why do people have to be such douchebags? I'm just amazed by this. Now that's today. Let's see, Tuesday, Monday. Would it be Monday? Maybe I talked about it on Monday, because I remember pulling this up and just being completely flabbergasted that they wouldn't talk about. There it is. Here it is. Okay, so this is for all you fine folks out there. All right, here are the 16 Nobel economists that she's referring to. Okay, 16 Nobel economists' letters signed about the risks to the U.S. economy of a second Trump presidency. Okay, these are the 16 Nobel economists that she's talking about. And if you look at this line right here, and what I'll do is I will copy this thing and I will put it in chat. You're welcome to click on it and do the research yourself, chat. Here you go. There you go. Go do the research yourself. Go pull it up and go tell me what you find out about this Evercore, Alliance, Oxford Economics, and the Peterson Institute. All right? Go do the research. Go look them up. And tell me if you don't find diversity, equity, inclusion in every single one of these. Somewhere in there, they're probably under their hiring practices, or a lot of their policies that they're putting forward has to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Every single one of these 16 people they're talking about that wrote this paper, every single one of them is involved in diversity, equity, inclusion. Every time that the U.S. Times, the federal, every one of these newspapers, every one of these left-leaning newspapers, excuse me a second, every time they refer back to all of these companies. Every single one of these refers back to these people. They are spewing the same bullshit that she's spewing right now. These are people that do not care about our country because they don't think it's diverse enough, equitable enough. They're a bunch of socialist pieces of garbage. Go ahead, look them up right there, right from the bottom, 2 paragraphs up from the last one at the bottom of the page. Go up 1 paragraph. You can do a research on every single one of these, and you'll be blown away by what they want to do with your policies. A lot of them are more interested in green energy than actually getting our country back on its feet. They want to eliminate the drilling for oil. They want to eliminate jobs for people. If you're not the right color, then you don't belong with this group. So every time she starts quoting them up, this George and Sir Angus and Claudia and Sir Oliver and Eric and Daniel and Paul and Roger and Edmund and Paul and Alvin and William and Robert and Christopher and Joseph and Robert. Must have a thing for Roberts, I guess. Whenever you start researching these people, you'll find what their policies are, who they're backing, who they're supporting. And they're wrong. So, yeah, go ahead and talk about that, Madam Vice President.
Understand how economic policy works, that moving forward, because I do believe the American people are ready to turn the page on the divisiveness and the type of rhetoric.
Divisiveness that you've created. You garbage human being, you.
That has come out of Donald Trump. People are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that.
No, it does not. Your plan for the economy is no different than the plan was for the past 4 years. It's not going to change a bit. It's going to get worse. Your economy, you think it's bad right now? I guess some people here, some people that are voting for her must have not remembered the Carter years. The Carter years, where you had people lining up at gas stations just to put fuel in their car so they could get to the next gas station to put fuel in their car. I guess we forget about that. But see, now we're in such a position that whenever because of the policies that they're making and because of the technology of our vehicles, just imagine what happens whenever you can't get computer chips. Think about all of the electronic instruments that you have. Think about what controls your power grid. Think about what it requires to do logistics anymore. Now imagine shutting down all the computer chips. Just picture this in your mind right now. Just a slight thought process of imagine shutting down the supply of computer chips where you cannot get any more chips into this country. Think about every single item that you have that requires a computer chip. And you will come to this realization that just about 90% of everything that you do requires that computer chip. Your vehicle requires computer chips. Your phone requires computer chips. How many of you have a home phone? How many of you still have a landline? Well, even if you had a landline, those lines are still run by a computer chip. How many of you use the internet? I mean, I know that you're on the internet right now, or else you wouldn't be here watching me. And how many of those do require a computer chip? Think about the data center for Amazon. Imagine trying to get your food delivered to you. Well, Cash App isn't going to work anymore because it's tied to a data center. Even if you have a landline, those are run through a processor. The days of, the handheld little wires being plugged from one another, it's run by ones and zeros. Eliminate ones and zeros from your world and find out how fast a city crumbles. You want to see a city crumble really fast? Eliminate all the computer chips out of everything. How are you going to wring out of your bank account? How are you going to access your bank account if they shut down computer chips? How fast do you think our economy tanks? Because you can't go into a bank and ask for your money. You know what they'll tell you? That's too large of a deposit or too large of a withdrawal. We don't carry that amount of cash on us. Well, we can write a check so you can transfer it to where you want to transfer it to. But if you have a computer chip, how are they going to be able to transfer anything? They can't even do a simple calculation of 1 + 1 because it ends up equaling 3 because Common Core math has been enacted. How fast do you think our economy shuts down whenever the policies that they've made are pushed through? What happens if China and Taiwan go at it? That's where your computer chips are coming from. I mean, they've started some manufacturing in the United States, but it's not going to be enough to cover that loss. Your television, where do you get your news from? Do you get your news off of running an antenna and aerial off your house? And what stations are you going to get? They pulled a landline cable in your apartment building. Exactly. Yep, keep somewhere a little bit of cash. And that probably won't get you much of anywhere because what is that worth? Cash might be a little bit more to warm you up. Yeah, the Great Depression was a cakewalk as compared to what could be coming. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Carter didn't have the balls to get the Iranian hostages free, just like Biden won't do anything to get our U.S. Israel hostages free. Yeah. I see 1970s repeating itself. It's all right there.
Plan would be again to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country and blow
This is another lie that she's telling.
up our deficit.
It's interesting you said turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not
Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, then who are you? Oh, that's right. You're an old hoe. And that's what Joe Brown said, wasn't it? She's old hoe.
not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
No? Really? So you're saying that everything that you did, you don't stand behind? You just got hammered.
And
you haven't been hammered this hard since you were on the Hollywood scene.
like every new president that comes in to office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector, and others.
Wait, you support the Republicans that were on stage with you? You're talking about those warmongers, Cheney, and the people that you were so against? My wife really hates that too. because she remembers going, Dick Cheney is a piece of garbage. I hate that guy. She remembers, you know, how, and she had this the longest time. What was it? What was that other bonehead? Was in charge of the State Department. I can't remember his name off the top of me. Not Cheney, but Al. Damn it, the name is slipping me. That was just warmongers off the fucking wazoo. Yeah, she does not like that at all, but she'll still vote for this twatopotamus.
Who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing.
Have you seen the houses they're planning on making? They look like internment camps. That's the kind of housing that they want to make. And they want to charge people out the wazoo for it. Just imagine building a huge complex, taking up acres and acres of land to live in a 12 by 2. I mean, they look like prisons is what they look like. Yeah, waffle twatopotamus.
Addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan.
Because oh, that her plan. Her plan Her plan is not. It is absolutely garbage. Of Trump, she said, people are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievances. He's not stable. All the whole first part of her interview has been nothing but personal grievances and how she's not Trump. Byer challenged Harris over her attestation to Biden's mental stamina. Oh, that's coming up right here. Again, she defended Biden, but added Joe Biden is not on the ballot and Donald Trump is. And again, she didn't win the primary. She wasn't primaried. She's a diversity hire.
For a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
And pay really close attention to this. Bring more capital and access.
For a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers.
You hear that? $25,000 assistance. Who pays for that? This is what they mean by diversity. She's going to make the billionaires pay for that? No, she's going to make the middle class pay for that. She's going to make the middle class pay a higher amount of taxes because you have to be able to fund this $25,000 for a first-time home buyer. And let me ask you, if a home costs $250,000, that's only 10%. So what are you saying? We need to cut that in half? What, $125,000? Tell me where you're going to find a home for $125,000 to make a down payment for a first-time home buyer. And you have to be a first-time home buyer because if you've already owned a home, that doesn't include you. So you want to move from being one place to another. You want to move. Let's see. You're living in the city, and the city's going to shit. Your rent is so high, but you say you're going to stop the price gouging, but demand is really high living in the cities because that's where the jobs are. Because nobody has any skill beyond sitting behind a keyboard and playing on a damn computer. And then they'll bitch and moan whenever they're late to work. Well, you don't understand what it's like. My ADHD. The housing, just like healthcare, it's an epic disaster for so many people. Yet you won't do anything to help your vets out. You won't do anything to help your veterans out. You've made it more difficult on veterans to get the care that they need. They'll be homeless and on the street, but they won't be a first-time home buyer because they lost everything during the first 4 years of your presidency. Daughter's fiance works 7 days a week. Yeah, that does happen. Hopefully he's young. Hopefully he's young. And it doesn't get much better. Stop making stick homes. That they're making garbage homes. Absolute garbage.
And for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to...
Oh, by the way, that for small businesses, this is only for certain ethnicity. So whenever she's talking about this, the thing that they've been promoting, and let's see if I'm not mistaken, it was Obama that was talking about this. That this is for only black voters. So they're trying to buy the black vote because their policies have sucked so bad that they've destroyed the nuclear family within the black community. Your policies on abortion have destroyed the nuclear family to just insufferable levels. Yeah. Because they need that black vote, because black men and women are saying, I'm not any better off than I was 4 years ago. Matter of fact, I'm worse off right now. And they're saying, I'm done with you. The poor people of this country are just doing nothing but getting poorer because of their policies. She agrees with everything that Biden's doing, but she's going to be different. Right.
To $50,000.
We've heard a lot about those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've
you fucked everybody. Sorry.
Been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric.
Sweetheart, your rhetoric is why we've had a ex-president have 2 assassination attempts against him. Your rhetoric, your policies, your speech is why we've had that happen. Your rhetoric. You've called him a fascist. You've compared him to the little German artist that we can't name here multiple times. And that is so far from the truth. Yeah, literal finger pointing, heavens to Betsy. You've divided our country. You've divided our country into little segments of the gays against the heteros, against the blacks, against the whites, against the Hispanics, against the Asians, against everybody, against the Muslims, Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, Russia. You've divided this country and created this hyperbolic chamber of hatred and just garbage. You created that. Democrats, you sorry mother pieces of garbage, have created that. That's not finger pointing, that's pointing out the obvious. Jesus.
And an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
that is about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly.
She really hates that. It's not your fault, Betsy. You and I say that just to make a point. Your son's currently on deployment. Sorry to hear that. Currently on deployment. Goes to college, works part time. Try to help when I can, but you're on disability. I know. Only so much. It's only so much you can do. But she's wanting to turn the page because she doesn't want to go back to what makes this country great, because this is the progressive agenda. Because, you know, communism's worked in so many places. Socialism has been one of the greatest things ever.
Frankly, exhausted of Brett.
More than
people
70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track,
and I don't trust polls, so just saying, if people think it's on the wrong track, these polls are skewed. It's Marquette Law School, October 1st through 10th. This is just in October, out of 652 likely voters. So I don't trust polls. Just saying.
track. That track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
You've been the person holding the office.
What I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade, people have become. But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president.
Oh, you talking about those Republicans that were in power? Well, what? Rove. That's his name, Karl Rove. Yeah, that guy right there. You remember that Karl Rove was the one that they were worried were going to take away gay marriage? Yeah, that he wanted to find out what was happening in your beds? That Karl Rove. The Karl Rove that was pushing heavy religious doctrines, well, that Karl Rove, the one they said was wanting to spy on Americans, that Karl Rove. Guess who he's supporting now? Yeah, right here, right there. The one that was the big demon, Karl Rove, right there, right there. That's who he's supporting. Yeah, people forgot about him. The one they hated so much. Dude gives me serious ick vibes. Let's put this away. I never let my 17-year-old son near. Yeah. Yeah. That
Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, and that people are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievances. And
what did you just do for the past 30 seconds there, sweetheart?
It being about him instead of the American people. People are tired of that.
If that's the case, why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states? Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know.
Condescending much? Yet this is what they had to say. Harris's interview with Fox News is marked by testy exchanges. Testy exchanges? She seems to be the one that's testy. He's asking her questions and she can't answer a damn question here at all. Pushing back against Buyer's line of questioning Harris at one point, I would like if we could have a conversation that's grounded in a full assessment of the facts. There you go. Harris's campaign spokesperson is saying that she's achieved what we set out to achieve with the special report host. She was able to reach an audience that's probably not been exposed to the arguments she's been making on the trail. Testes. Yeah, testes. Testes. 1, 2. Testes. 1, 2.
No, but
It's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What
oh
is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you
No, but she would say that about Republicans. She would say that about conservatives. She's been saying that.
listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within. Talking.
What are you off about now? He's talking about illegals being in this country that we're trying to send back to their country. That's the enemy within. The enemy within is not what you are describing here, sweetheart. Of course, you can't keep your facts straight, but let's hear some more word salad.
Talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
That's not what he said. That is not what he said at all. Are you saying that the illegals here are American people? That he said he was going to use the military to remove illegals from this country? So those aren't American people. Those are people that are in America illegally that he said he was going to have removed from this country. Damn, you two switch you to top chat again. Yeah, bearer receipts, which makes him instaphobe, of course. No, I don't view her as the enemy. I don't think she qualifies as that. I don't think she qualifies to be an enemy. I think she's misguided, and I think that she's a puppet, and someone's got their hand so far up her ass that they can feel her tonsils. That's how I feel about her. Enemy? No, I wouldn't go so far as that. No, I'd have to disagree there.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated.
Yes, it was, sweetheart. That's exactly what he's been saying. That's because you've been making up shit. Sweetheart, that is because you've been making up shit. It really sucks whenever they bring the receipts on you, doesn't it?
When he's speaking about the American people, that's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed, in all fairness and respect to you.
Sweetheart, this is exactly what you're losing. This is exactly what you're losing. You're losing the narrative. You're really, really hating this. And do I need to show what right here? What Stacey Woodson is talking about? This was sent to me. This was sent to me by a wonderful member of my chat, and also comes here on Sundays. Well, I should say his twin brother shows up here on Sundays. This right here is DOD Directive 5240.01. And if you scroll down through all of this and you start reading what this document has to say, it's going to get to a nice little point where these are the directives that they have for the United States and going against our citizens. These directives are what has been put in there. And here's the thing. if you don't believe me, I'll post a link where you can go read this yourself. And we're going to hit, let's see, we'll hit copy message link right there. And we will take this right here and we'll throw this back in here and we'll throw this up here. No, that's not it. Let's see, we're going to open this up. Copy the text. There we go. Is that right? Maybe this is it. It is that. Maybe that's it. Paste. 2024 directive, and it is, let me cut this stuff out of there, and that one there. There is the link. Go check it out yourself. Go see what their directive is. It's based on the January 6, 2016 directive, was specific to surveillance, and they've amped it up. There you go. Go look at it. Go look at it yourself. Go look at it yourself. Go see. Error occurred. Wait a moment, and then try again. Yeah, you read it? Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a little line in here. It says intelligence-related activities, examples of non-intelligence-related activities. You can go down here, intelligent activity involving the integration, evaluation, interpretation of information from all available data sources types, including human intelligence signals and geospatial intelligence, measurements, signatures, intelligence, and open source intelligence. Civil authorities, elected and appointed officials, employees. And that's just giving all the defenses. Threat to providing the assistance will pose safety to both the general public, defense, intelligence components, workforce. Yeah, this was all approved. Assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality in any situation which of reasonable foreseeable, and providing the requested assistance may involve use of force that is likely to result in use of lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in a situation where a confrontation between civil law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups reasonably anticipated. Such use of force may be in accordance with DOD 5210, potentially is further restricted by the specifics of the requested support. Yeah, who's arming our citizens there, Camel Toe? Who's going after our civilians? What was that? Well, who's doing that?
The question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about...
Wait, you mean the peaceful protest where you got people out of jail that were burning down cities? That you were bailing, you set up a fund to bail out Antifa? Those people, is that what you're talking about, Camel Toe?
Locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy...
Sweetheart, you are wrong again. This is not a democracy. This is a constitutional republic.
The President of the United States in the United States of America should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this...
What have you been trying to do for the past 2.5 years? How many of, let's see, was it Letitia? You've put the DOD going on attack for a former president, and you're losing. She lectures about democracy. Didn't one vote in her party to be a candidate? Only superdelegates. Oh, yeah, she's angry now because she got called out. Oh, that Word doc? No wonder Chrome didn't open a site. Yep, not enough coffee yet.
This is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being...
Oh, wait. You're talking about the same Mark Milley that's worried that Donald Trump is going to fire him because that's within his authority to do. Yeah, I didn't pull that one up the other day. Mark Milley is panicking because he's about to be removed from position. Yeah.
A threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book.
What did you say? Donald Trump being the greatest threat to the United States of America. Now, what was it that you were saying that the rhetoric needs to stop? Let's hear it again. Remember what they said, that we need to tone down the rhetoric because, let's see, there's been 2 assassination attempts on our former president. But we need to tone down the rhetoric. What was that I just heard?
To the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump.
The significance
you
of that.
call Donald Trump. He's misguided. You say now
he's unstable. He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden. I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room. And he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best
are probably going to vote for him because they don't have any trust in you, Camel Toe. You are so pissed right now. You are just seething in anger. Like she's got her teeth clenched, raising her voice and yelling didn't work. And she is pissed right now. God, oh yeah. Look at that smarm. She is pissed. Oh yeah, she is.
Including leaders of our national security community.
Leaders of our national security community. No, we're talking about people that got removed from office. They don't hold those positions anymore. That red rage is real.
Have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in...
Wait, you mean the people that he fired and have a bone to pick? Those right there.
The Situation Room.
Got it.
And have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So that is...
You mean the same Pence that like destroyed you on the stage during your debate with him? Yeah. Even with a fly flying around on his head, he still destroyed you on that. Yeah.
Is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam Vice President, 2 more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
A number of experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the #1 threat?
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April or in October, in the several hours on each occasion that Iran posed a threat to Israel, I was there. Most recently in the Situation Room, in the most recent attack.
Why? Because Biden wasn't competent enough to understand what was going on? Yeah. If anyone thinks that there's going to be a peaceful change of power if Donald Trump wins, raise your hand. Raise your hand in the chat if you think that that's going to happen. It's going to be peaceful if Trump wins, that there will be a peaceful transfer of power. They've already called him the greatest threat. They've called him fascist. They've called him everything that they possibly can. Criminal, you name it. They've called him that. What do you think you think it's going to be peaceful for them? Have they come out and said, because what I've heard almost every debate, do you think that if Biden wins there will be a peaceful transfer of power? Do you think if Kamala wins will there be peaceful transfer of power? Now, what the question that's never been asked of the Democrats is, will you concede if Donald Trump wins? Will you go softly into the night?
Working with the heads of our military and doing what America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself and to give.
And just yesterday they said that they were going to cut off funding if they didn't stop. That's what you said yesterday. I pulled that up too yesterday. That was what you had to say yesterday about it. That's what the White House was saying yesterday. If they didn't come to the negotiating table, that they were going to cut off funding to Israel. Yeah, your White House said that.
Give American support to be able to allow Israel to have the resources to defend itself against attack, including from Iran and Iran's terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that
those
is,
proxies were getting
and
funded
my
by
commitment
Iran.
to that is unyielding and unwavering.
Critics just say that you either relaxed or failed to enforce sanctions on Iran, allowing all of this money to flow into Iran, like billions.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, who pulled out of a deal.
Why did he pull out of a deal? Why did he pull out of a deal? Yeah. Guess you can't say that, can you?
That would have actually put Iran in check.
The estimates in billions.
It was during Donald Trump's
that
administration
go towards
that
the Iran regime.
That we had an American military base that was attacked.
Wait, you talking about this military base what was that again? Military, what was it? This graceful pullout that you had out of Afghanistan? That you talking about that attack on a base, or are you talking about president going after a terrorist? Yeah, that was that he took out that guy. Unlike what was that, Obama that took out a couple of American citizens in drone attacks? Guess we don't talk about those, do we?
Where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches, not to mention how Donald Trump has...
That's a lie.
All of this money
has treated and talked about America's military and military...
This is another lie she's about to spew out. This is not true.
Service people calling them suckers and losers.
Hamas
has diminished.
That's not what he said. That right there has already been proven to be false.
And who we're talking over each other. I apologize.
Well, I would like
because she's angry right now. because she's just gotten her ass handed to her.
That we would have a conversation.
Well, a conversation means that it's two ways, and this has been one way because you don't like what he's bringing the receipts and you don't like it.
That is grounded in full assessment of the facts, which include.
No, that would be incorrect. That would be incorrect. You're bringing false statements and you're not following the truth. Because facts are only as good as the truth, and you have not said anything that's truthful so far.
I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but you've been in power for the past 4 years and you haven't done anything worthwhile. You're irrelevant, I guess, is what he's saying.
On the subject of Iran, I am offering what should be an important contrast that is presented for folks to make a decision that they feel.
Who look at what.
Yeah, he's right here. There's critics.
What the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're rapping me very hard here. I hope you got.
Yeah, they're rapping him really hard because she just got her ass handed to her. Her people are running around saying, get out of this, get out of this, get out of this. She hates it. Oh, but she's going to try to get her last words in.
Say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have much more to say.
There are a lot of things that people want to learn about you and your policies,
and she has none. It's the same policies that they're currently running.
That's why
I invite everyone to go to KamalaHarris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive. And
no, they just slammed Donald Trump. They're no different than what they want to do already. 80 pages of propaganda. Gotta love it. She's a narcissist, yeah.
And should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do.
And that's why we invited you here,
our economy,
to see where you were in 2019 and where you are now.
America's military and ensure we have the most lethal and best fighting force in the world.
Madam Vice President.
Yeah, because whenever you're on the verge of World War III, yeah, you want to have all the fighters out there. I guess the the two moms theory doesn't work anymore, because you're going to send her to the front lines. Could you imagine that as a stepmom? How rude to keep talking over him. How unprofessional. Money from our great grandchildren aren't the only thing she's going to blow. God.
President, and they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
Yeah, so there you go. That was the interview. Sorry it took longer than I expected it was going to take. But all of her BS had to be called out. Time running out. Harris keeps focused on the blue wall states. F. Sean Fiberglass Hairdo Hannity. I agree with that. I don't really enjoy Sean. I find him as a bunch of garbage. Sorry, I don't like him at all. I have no love for him. But guess what? Here's some good news for those of you that lived through the worst summer ever. La Nina could arrive soon. Here's what that means for the winter weather. The national NOAA has predicted that there's a 60% chance that a weak La Nina event will develop this autumn and could last until March. La Nina is part of the natural climate cycle that causes extreme weather across the planet, and its effects vary from place to place. Although there's no guarantee whether La Nina will play out in some general trends, experts say northern parts of South America could see more rain than usual, Southern regions of the U.S. and parts of Mexico could be drier than average. The northern tier of the U.S. and southern Canada could be wetter than average. La Nina is a cool phase of El Nino's southern oscillation. It is a natural occurring global pattern that involves changes in wind and ocean temperatures in the Pacific and can cause extreme weather across the planet. El Nino is the warm phase that happens when trade winds that typically blow across the Pacific towards Asia weaken, allowing warm ocean waters to pile up along the western edge of South America. But during La Nina, which would be the daughter, the trade winds intensify. The cold water from the depths of sea rises up. Now, this is very true, what they're saying, because whenever I worked for the EPA, that was part of some of the stuff that I learned from scientists that were studying water temperatures. And you have to remember that in the summer, that cold water gets pushed down and all the warm water rises. And in the winter, it does the opposite. All of the cold water comes up to the top and the warm water gets pushed down. It's a really odd phenomena, but that's what happens to the ocean every single time. The water gets colder on top, warmer in the bottom. Just happens. And it also dictates where the fish sit in the water too, because they want to go for a little bit of that warmer water. They don't want to, and then the colder fish like to be in the colder weather, but it happens. So it may or may not happen somewhere in it all of America. Got it. Exactly. Well, now that she's mad, Dougie's going to have to go pick up the slack on the mouth hugs for rich donors. Oh, yeah. Thanks for calling out the BS, though. And, you know, like I said, you can vote for whomever you want to vote for. And I suggest that, you know, there are places where I believe there's early voting going on. And you're welcome to go out and vote early. Vote with your heart and your conscience. And it's nice to see both sides of the story. I did have another one that I wanted to play for you really quick. And then I am going to kick this bad boy off because this right here is really important. Really important. I want everybody to be able to see this and sort of see the contrast, because while Camel Toe was doing her little spew on this one, this is what was happening on
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, morning time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.